We've spoken a little bit about how we're missing the Olympics.
Correct.
Missing those moments of watching the challenge, the success, the failures. It all comes in part of the package, doesn't it?
We are basking in the golden glory, though, this morning with some of the big winners from the Paris Olympics. And don't forget, on the 28th, I think, Paralympics start.
Yeah.
So we have that to look forward to.
It's around the corner, isn't it?
Yeah.
One of the most memorable performances came in trampolining, when Bryony became Team GB's first ever Olympic champion in that sport. Here's a reminder. Oh, Bryony, what was that like? I'm going to ask all the obvious questions. What was that like?
Just amazing. Like, I was just incredibly happy, a little bit relieved. Like, all of the emotions that you can feel, just times it by so many. Like, it was just the most incredible feeling.
Go on, talk me through each of those in turn. So the relief is the work that you put in, the hope and the aspiration and the time and the journey, yeah?
Yeah, so obviously we don't want to mess up the routine. So, like, the relief is that we've actually managed to get through 10 skills relatively well, and then the happiness is, like, actually we did really well and the scores have come up. So, like, yeah, it's just so many different things, and you have to, like, put those emotions aside to be able to focus on the competition and the trampolining. So you kind of have to hold in your excitement and your pride when you're marching out, and just, yeah, and hold that and think about the competition.
And then that moment there that we witnessed of you sort of dropping down, and was that moment when you're going, I've done it?
Competitor, because they messed up, didn't they?
Yeah, so it was really...
And it's awful, because that's not how you want to win, because you know how hard it is. You know how devastating it is if you slip or if you fall, and it's painful as well. But equally, you want to win.
Yeah, it's really tough because I, like, know them personally as well. So, like, we know the competitors, and like you said, like, you know how much effort goes in, and you don't want to see anyone fail their routine and win in that way. So I think it's just feeling, like, just gutted for her, because I know what that feels like, but also, like, a little bit of relief that, like, I'd experienced what it felt like to become Olympic champion and not actually had become one yet. So it was like, oh, like, it's difficult to explain because you want them to do well, but...
You did a good enough routine. Yours was gold-worthy anyway. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you won because she messed up.
Yeah, it's tough. So she's capable. There was quite a few of us in the final that were capable of hitting a really high score, and it was worse. So in that moment, I was thinking about downgrading. Then the next skill was I brought back fine, but I just felt like I needed to still stick with the easier option just to gain control. So I'm glad I did make that decision, because
And you made it in the moment.
Yeah, so you kind of you've got so many thoughts kind of going through your head, and just have to pick out the ones that feel the right. So it was more instinct, I guess, because afterwards I was like, should I have done that skill? Should I have changed it? But I think, like, looking back, definitely made the right decision and the right call in that moment.
Yes.
Bryony, yes, there it is. I don't know, do you gold medalists, do you kind of know, is there like a special, I don't know, WhatsApp group for gold medalists? Because we've had two of them in already this morning, amazing rowers. We've got the men's 8 coming in a little bit later on. You're in a very, very elite group, in amongst an elite group. Well, you are.
You are.
Yeah, it feels so strange. Like, I remember, like, I got told I was going to be the flag bearer for the closing ceremony, which was, like, such an honour, but I felt like a little bit like a fraud, like, you've chosen me, like, from trampolining, and, yeah, very, very crazy. So it's amazing to think, like, I was next side to Alex Yee for the flag bearer, so, and I'm thinking, he's a legend, like, how can I be named alongside him, as well as people that have flag beared before? So, yeah, feels very strange to be in that group.
Well, just another thought on that. In your sport, trampolining, some of other sports we've done well in the past. You know, you think about rowing, I think, particularly. Maybe you think about cycling. There's a track record, excuse the pun, of people getting gold medals. Is it different when you're the first? Because you're on your own, in a way.
Yeah, I think, like, it's building on the foundations of what the past Olympians have brought forward for trampolining. So I've been inspired by them, competing for the first time. Trampoline was only added into the Olympics in 2000, and I was old enough to remember that. So I remember watching Jamie being inspired, and the next Olympian, like, making the final. Like, Kat being able to go to 2 Olympics inspired me to keep trying for the Olympics, as well as going for another Games and another Games after that. So just inspired by what's happened before, and that kind of pushes you on to try and, I guess, like, lift up trampolining. So it's this medal is
give it a bit of a bounce,
everyone's, which has been part of trampolining.
Oh, Charlie.
You didn't even hear what I said then. Probably just as well.
It was just as well. Do you ever go... Because you could do this. Do you know, like, you could go to a trampolining park and just kind of rock up and no one might recognise you and then just show off?
I have done that, actually. Because I was like, I want to go to the trampoline park, see what they're all like, and then just jump on the trampoline and you can do all the different things and just have a bounce around and just not have to worry about anything.
What do people say when you kind of, you know, show your skills off?
I don't know, like, some people will, like, join in and be like, can you do this, can you do that? And then, I don't know, they'll just ask about it. They're just like, oh, have you done trampolining before? I'm like, yes, I've done trampolining before. I don't just rock up and be able to do this. So, like, they just ask questions, I guess. And
What does it feel like? Here's a question then. So what's the most discombobulating move? Like, the one that really throws you off and you think, right, I've got to... And how do you prepare for it?
I guess, like, that one would be the skill that I downgraded in the end, because it's a Miller, it's a triple twisting double back.
OK, slow down.
It's a double back somersault with 3 twists in. So twists that way, double that way. And so that's like, because you're twisting the entire time pretty much, so you've got to be like trying to get those vision points.
So when you do that, what are you doing with your... I know a lot of it's core and, you know, obviously you're very, very strong. Physically, can you just take... So you're just about to do so what do you move to twist? Obviously, you bounce. What do you move to twist and then flip?
So you're meant to try and get it through, like, what's in contact with the trampoline, which is essentially your feet. But I use... Because I don't do it the best. But I, like, tend to lean a little bit and, like, you can try to wrap around the twist. And so you're using a lot of different parts of your body. If it's done well, you're going to be blocking your arms and they're going to be straight, but mine are, like, slightly bent on that skill because I find it tough.
Children, because in a way they find it easier.
So first of all, like, try and find somewhere to trampoline that can help you and teach you with qualified coaches. But, like, you would start with just literally standing on the trampoline and trying to jump. And you normally start with, like, arms in the air or out to the side just to get a bit of balance. And then you learn the shapes. So when we're somersaulting through the air, we'll make 3 different shapes, which will be tuck when you're grabbing your knees and bending and, like, being a little ball, pike shape with the straight legs when you're folded in half, and then straight body, which is like a pencil. So you learn the different shapes, and then you'll learn body landings just to get control of the trampoline. So when you're, like, landing essentially flat on the trampoline on your back, front, and then you just add twists.
Bryony, I do... The times that I have been on big trampoline, I've worried about pinging right off. Because it does happen, doesn't it?
It does happen, yeah. We would have seen it if you watch the men's event, and there was people coming off, and I've fallen off the trampoline before, and you just, like, learn how to fall safely as possible, and you've got spotters and mats, and yeah, so it does happen sometimes. You don't want it to, but, like, the ones that look really spectacular, which is when we kind of, like you saw in the Chinese competitor, He Chung, she flipped off the end. So that looks spectacular, but actually doesn't hurt that much if you do it right. So it makes a loud noise, and we kill the trampoline, which means, like, it rattles a lot. So it looks spectacular, but it doesn't hurt too much. It's when you come off the side, or hit the side, which is more painful.
So pleased you didn't do it. So just thank you, because you've brought us so much joy. Whole of Team GB.
Aww.
And I am bereft that it's over. I am looking forward to the Paralympics.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to the National Lotteries Team GB homecoming tonight, because we're going to be celebrating with all the team, which is, I haven't seen them since we left, so it would be really nice to see them all again. And of course the Paralympics that are coming up, because I've got friends in there that I want to watch as well. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
The event you're talking about is we broadcast tomorrow night, Sunday night, and so I know a lot of Olympians literally in this building this morning, so it's been very exciting. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.